I just found out this year that mixing coffee with milk is actually a bad combination and it's really bad for your health. So I decided to quit coffee. One of my New Year's resolutions is, since I cannot enjoy it the way I like it, I should not enjoy it at all. Hello and welcome back. My name is Valentina. Of those of you who are not subscribed, please do so. In this video, we are going to talk about the new year, 2024, how to make this year the best year of your life, and we might as well make it count. We had so many bad years in the last 2-3, I would say. This year, hopefully, is going to be a fresh start. No matter where you are, no matter what you do, you can always start from the beginning. And those of you who are big fans of Ali Abdaal, the way I am, I just read his most recent, his only book that he ever published, The Feel Good Productivity. And in this book, he actually makes a point that it doesn't matter how your last project ended. You can always start fresh. That's the beauty of being a human being and having time to actually start fresh. So no matter how bad or good your last project, your last relationship, your last year ended, you can always start fresh. So number one thing that I did, and I encourage you to do as well, is do a reflection. And I know a lot of self-development books are actually giving prompts and different tables for you to fill in with your resolutions and what went wrong last year and what should go right in 2024. For me, it's very simple, and I encourage you to do the same thing. Just grab a piece of paper and write down what you achieved last year, what went wrong, what went right, and how you are going to do it this year. It doesn't need to make sense to anyone. No one needs to read it. It just needs to make sense to you. Whatever you think went wrong last year, you obviously can learn and maybe start on the same project. I do believe that you can start the same project over again. If the business didn't go quite how you imagined it would, I do think that we are all capable of starting fresh and turn that page and start a new chapter. Make sure your goals are SMART this year. And when I say SMART, I don't mean that you need to really dive deep and make a point by point what needs to get done, what are your aspirations. If you have an overall perspective of how your year should look and what you're trying to achieve more or less, you need a skeleton. And I keep saying that same thing applies when I plan my day with my children. I need to have a skeleton, roughly. This is what I need to do. This is the time I want to do it. This is, if you're planning for the year, this is the month. What I did is I actually took a pad and I wrote down on each page month and then what I'm trying to achieve that month. I don't beat myself up if not everything was achieved, if not everything was done. But I keep certain accountability. You know, if something I wish I did in January didn't get done, I can move it to the next month. It's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. You can always move a task to the next month. And if the next month it didn't get done, you can move it to the next month. We are not designed to be 24/7 productive and always get things done, especially if you are a parent. I'm sure you need to squeeze that time for yourself, to squeeze extra minutes in the day to get things done. So coming from a mother, I hope that you are not beating yourself up and you're being gentle to yourself this year and you're being cautious of the way you talk to yourself and how you make a plan for yourself. Make sure that when you set up your SMART goals, that you're being realistic. What I can realistically achieve, what I realistically can do this month, this year, the first 6 months of this year. So don't have your heads in the cloud and make those aspirations and write down 10 goals. I don't know, write a book, learn how to jump with a parachute. No. You need to be more realistic. And going back to Ali Abdaal's book, he made a note, and I'm not exactly sure who he mentioned, that you can actually make 2 lists at the beginning of the year. So one list is what you can actually achieve and what you have time for, and another list is what you hope to achieve. So when you have the time and you see that most of the things on the list that actually can get done and you have time for an extra hobby, an extra task, you move it from your dream list to your actual list. Let me tell you, it was actually helpful. I started this January and I made a list of what I'm trying to achieve, what I'm trying to do. And then I have another list of what I'm hoping to do. And I already moved 2 tasks from the dream list to my to-do list. And it's actually been very eye-opening to understand what you're capable of and actually write it down on a piece of paper. What are your dreams and how you can achieve them? It actually makes a difference when you write things down, and you write down actually materializes. And coming from someone who wrote down a bunch of things last year, and I would say about 50% of what I wrote down actually came true. So give it a try, it's gonna make a change. Embrace new opportunities this year. You have to step out of your comfort zone. Every time I'm thinking that something's gonna make me cringe or it's gonna make me uncomfortable, I push myself to do it. And I don't do it perfectly, and I cringe on the inside, and I feel embarrassed, but I still do it, and I still push myself, because every time I take that extra step, and I'm sure you will too, you will feel that something was done and you grew as a person. So second step that you should do is really push yourself out of the comfort zone. That's what I'm trying to do here. I haven't found my salsa crowd yet. I miss dancing so much. And every time I'm thinking, okay, I should go out and I should reach out to people and I should find my crowd here. And I cringe, I'm thinking, that's exactly why I need to do it. That's exactly why I need to take that step and actually do the thing that scares me the most, which is making new friends, apparently. Prioritize self-care, that's a third point. And I keep saying that in all of my videos. And when you think about self-care, generally people think, oh, I will need hours a day. No, you don't. Just follow James Clear advice, eliminate the friction. So the less friction, the more possibility of you actually doing the thing that you don't want to do. So what I do is, when I know that I need to do my skincare, I put all of my stuff in my bathroom for me to see. Whatever face masks I'm trying to do every other day, whatever I'm trying to do when it comes to my body, I always lay out mats, and it really does wonders when you eliminate that friction. When I'm trying to drink more water, I put bottles everywhere around the house. And every time I'm like, oh, I should drink some water, like it's about time. It's been 2 hours since I drink water. And I see around, and if I don't see a bottle, I won't drink. But if there's bottles everywhere, I will drink it naturally. Same thing applies to your self-care. If you're gonna have yoga mats lying around your house, you're gonna be that much more inclined in doing it. So eliminate friction and prioritize self-care. Build positive habits. I know it's easier said than done, and this year I am trying to incorporate a habit of waking up an hour before everyone else in the house. And I've been doing it since the beginning of January. Let me tell you, it's not easy. Building a new habit in your 40s, it's actually pretty challenging, because you are already a set-up individual and you have certain habits and certain rules and regulations when it comes to your day. It's kind of hard to incorporate a new thing, even if it's positive for you, because if you are up 1 hour earlier, that means you need to go to sleep 1 hour earlier, so you can make up for those 7-8 hours that you need for your body to recover. It's pretty challenging, and I'm really struggling with it. And so many days I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna stay in bed extra 15 minutes and wake up at 6:15. It's usually worse for me as opposed to better for me, because when I wake up those 15 minutes later, and I'm sure you do too, I'm thinking, oh my God, I could have done so much in 15 minutes. So do that new habit. If you are a fan of James Clear, Atomic Habits, he really puts an emphasis of building new habits. First of all, it's really good for your body, but it's the same thing, it's really good for your brain. It's such a switch. New neural pathways are being created when you are actually implementing a new habit. It's like a new skill. I believe that a new habit should be a new hobby. For me, it's definitely going to be a hobby, and I'm hoping it's going to be for you too. You are going to understand the benefits of it, and read Atomic Habits if you haven't done it. I keep going back to that book because it's fantastic. Approach everything with more love and more acceptance and more patience this year. I find that over the last couple of years, since everyone went through a pandemic, people have little patience for other people, because we were so locked up and so disconnected from everyone else that last year when we kind of came out and there were no more restrictions, no more lockdowns, people came out like angry and like bears after hibernation, and everyone kind of has little patience and little love for each other. So this year, why don't you make a difference and not necessarily be annoyed with everything and be negative about everything? Try to approach everything with love. Everyone who comes your way with any kind of negative emotions, I always think that in the back of my mind, and I know it's a bit of a fairy tale approach, that good always wins over bad. And your positive attitude and your love and your acceptance of people is always going to prevail any kind of negative energy coming your way. So be more positive. Stay connected with people. Don't necessarily push everyone out of your life. And I don't mean make new friends or expose yourself if you are an introvert. What I mean is, if you have certain people that you are keeping contact with, be more connected. Ask questions that matter. Don't necessarily be trivial and just talk about the weather and fashion. I found that we forget how finite our time is, and we actually wasting some of those precious conversations on topics that don't matter. So this year I decided to have only most of the time deep conversations and actually take interest in those people that I keep contact with, into how are they actually doing, because unfortunately, mental health is so underrated and everyone is kind of hiding and everyone looks cheerful and happy on the outside. But in reality, when you look a couple of years or a couple of months down the line and you see that those people are struggling and they come back to you and they tell you, yeah, I was really depressed that year. And I think to myself, how come I missed that? It's because we are avoiding those deep conversations. We're avoiding at looking our people, our friends, our partners, our children, our parents in the eyes and actually asking them, how are you doing? Are you doing okay? Can I help you with something? Enjoy the journey. Enjoy whatever this year is bringing you. Make sure you journal, which is a big, big plus for anyone who is going through anything at this point. It doesn't matter if you are trying to just keep track of what goes on in your day, or you're trying to reconnect with your inner child, or you're trying to heal yourself. It doesn't really matter. Writing things down does wonders to your brain. It's just emptying it out and it's like a clean slate. It's like you start from the beginning. So journaling is definitely one of the major points that I'm going to start doing much more thoroughly and much more intentionally this year. Last point is read. Either listen to audiobooks or read. And one of the latest books that I really enjoyed, Die with Zero. It actually teaches you how to spend the money you're making. And we are so good at making money, but not everyone is good at spending it correctly and making sure that when you are getting to the end of your life, that you spend them correctly and you spend them on yourself and on your loved ones. So do read, because you're gonna learn things that you never thought existed, things that you kind of went through life thinking, oh, I was fine not knowing this. No, you're not. You should really educate yourself. With every single opportunity you get, educate yourself. And reading books is one of the ways of doing it. Other than that, my last cup of coffee, I promise I'm quitting. That's it. So as we are embarking on 2024, I hope that you are enjoying the journey and the company, and you're not so fixated on achieving the big goals. And give yourself a pat in the back. You survived some of the worst years, and this year is going to be a great one, and you will definitely achieve at least one of your dreams. I will see you in my next video.